Chance is calling in right now, so maybe
buddy.
we can all be on the line together for just a second before we let you go. Kev, let's see if we can put Chance through. All right, Chance Prophet, how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
We're good. This is Stevie J. My co-host is Sierra, and you already know Jimmy Felcher, who's on the line with us. So, Sierra, say hello to Chance Prophet.
Hello.
The juicy one here.
What's up, Chance?
What's up, man?
Isn't this something? We got something juicy and then we got a chance.
There's a chance it'll be juicy.
Absolutely. Hey, just before you called in, we were just talking to Jimmy about that YouTube promo you uploaded this week talking about your match with Kyle Matthews. And I gotta say, I love the intensity in that video. I was ready and willing to drive all the way to Kentucky just to see you take him on.
Thank you. I pride myself in my intensity.
Absolutely. Well, you've been doing this for a long time, so you've had a long time to build up to that intensity. And as we were just saying again before you came on the line, TNA has obviously noticed that because you just won your gut check bracket. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. I hope this continues to play out, hopefully legitimately, and nothing gets all screwy like the first go-around. So.
Yeah, we had some friends that were in it the first go-around. I don't think Sugar Dunkerman was very happy when they reset the brackets and started over from scratch because he was winning in his bracket. So
yeah, I'd imagine.
Kind of some funny business with that, but if it's playing out straight, you're doing great. So it's congratulations all around, and you got a big match coming up Saturday. So for those who haven't had the benefit of seeing the YouTube video, tell you why that Kyle Matthews is on your radar right now and you're gunning for his title.
Yeah, I'm gonna take his head off. Whether I end up, I might get DQ'd just because there might be a head missing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to being a part of PWF. There's something special going down in Corbin, Kentucky. I'm glad that I can be a part of it, even if it's going to be kind of messy.
I don't think the fans will mind if it's messy because a lot of them will be there to see you in action that have followed your career on the independents for years. And I don't want to dominate the conversation. I know Sierra had a couple of questions about that, so I'll let her jump in here.
I understand this weekend you get to take on Kyle Matthews for the PWF Heavyweight Championship. Can you give anybody a preview what they're going to get out this match that goes to see it live?
I will be probably, and this is a stretch, I'm probably going to be punching him in the face a lot and kicking him in the head. I will probably throw him outside and use brutal force in order to break his body, and then I might pin him.
You might pin him.
Might.
So you're just going to go and beat him up, and then you'll think, should I pin him? No, let me beat him up some more.
That's par for the course.
Now, is this your first shot at the PWF Heavyweight Championship?
It is. This is my actual debut for PWF, and they're giving me carte blanche or even Rose from the Golden Girls treatment.
Well, they're giving Chance a chance. I mean,
well, that's what Tracy always told everybody, give Chance a chance. So hopefully somebody will actually do that.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't mind me jumping in, Sierra, I got a quick question. Since he's making his Pro Wrestling Freedom debut this weekend, and Jake Christ is also making his Pro Wrestling Freedom debut, I know he's got some history with Dave Christ, so maybe he'll be a two-for deal. Maybe he'll beat up Kyle Matthews and then go beat up Jake, too. What do you think, Chance?
I don't know. Jake and I, we've, like, the Christ boys, the Christ boys, and I've suddenly turned into Elmer Fudd, too. The Christ boys. We have a little bit of a history, and it's a little fact that Dave and I had a Queen's Nipples Rules match in Ohio, which was filled with lots of nipple tosses and nipple bills, and even a snap nipple mare. I don't know how you could word that, but he snared me by my chest. Jake and I actually wrestled back in Ohio too earlier in our careers, and was told that we shouldn't do the moves that we did to each other, but we did them anyway. I could see something happening between Jake Christ and I, probably in the form of a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich. But we might fight. I don't know. I'll be kind of busy kicking Kyle's head around.
Yeah, too busy to get into it with the Chris boys at this time, but that history is definitely there. And history is something you know everybody keeps saying give chance a chance, but you do have a lot of chances on your career because you've taken a chance against Nigel McGuinness, you've taken a chance against Abyss, you've taken a chance against Jimmy Rave. I mean, what would you say is the biggest match in your career to this point?
Everybody points back to a match I had with AJ Styles in where was that? Inez, Kentucky. I think it was in 2003. It was back when TNA was a part of NWA. It was a decent match. I don't count it as a crowning achievement. It was a world title match. So there's a little kudos there. But I would probably Jamie Noble and I had a match in his hometown in Bailey'sville, West Virginia, and that was probably one of the most knockdown drag-out matches that I'd had at that point. So that would probably be up there. Tommy Dreamer for Remix Pro Wrestling would probably be number one for me, just because of all out, all cylinders, and the crowd loved it, and I didn't mind getting hit with a trash can by Tommy Dreamer either.
I was about to say, if you had a match with Tommy Dreamer, it was probably an extreme match in some shape or form.
Yeah, there was plunder everywhere.
I believe it. Now, I'm glad you mentioned that AJ Styles was the match that you had back when NWA was still affiliated with TNA, because, as I recall, you actually did some matches for Explosion. You had a few matches here and there for them.
Yeah, it was a good experience. It was back when they were in the fairgrounds, the quote-unquote asylum. It was just, everyone was so hungry that it was really just good to be a part of it. And from the experiences I've had since then with them, I had a gut check, and I've been to a couple shows. The hunger's still there. I mean, it's kind of diminished because of, you got your upper card guys that have obviously taken the limelight, but there's still a big group of young guys that are hungry to make their mark in this business. But TNA in its early days I loved it. I loved watching it. I loved getting shots there. I got to wrestle Road Dogg and X-Pac and Ron Killings, and I really can't complain about anything.
No, I can't say there's a bad thing about those early days of TNA. A lot of people weren't tuning in at that time because they weren't on national television, but I loved those Wednesday night pay-per-views. It was a weekly ritual for me to call a few friends over and split the cost, and we would just enjoy something other than WWE. And it was, like you said, it was hungry wrestlers that were not getting a chance anywhere else, that, no pun intended, were getting a chance in TNA. So we loved it.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that you still got that relationship with TNA, even though, like you said, there may be some guys in the upper echelons of the cards that aren't letting people break through the glass ceiling. I would say nobody held that spot more than Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff isn't really around anymore, so there might be more, again, no pun intended, more of a chance now than there ever was.
Give chance a chance.
Absolutely.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. Now, I've noticed in looking around, watching videos over the years, and seeing you here and there, that it seems to me you have a very loyal Juggalo following. Now, what do you say to your Juggalo fans out there?
I'm proud that they accept me into their family, because I'm a very, very, mild-mannered person. Honest, no, I'm really not. But I love the Juggalos just because they are some of the most passionate wrestling fans, just the most passionate people out there, period. And they don't really, I like the fact that they don't really just sit back and take the norm that everyone throws on everybody and tries to shove down their throat. And I guess that's why they kind of identify with me, because I am by no means a cookie cutter wrestler. I don't fit any particular mold other than everybody thinks he's the Joker, that's the Joker. But, yeah. I love the Juggalo Luke family, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, since you mentioned that people maybe misunderstand, there's the whole thing with the face paint, and people are gonna misidentify that and not understand what it's about. So, for those who've seen you with the face paint on and don't get it, maybe you could tell them a little bit about that.
My face paint actually if anybody wants to lay it on a comic book character, the main influence comes from Venom, but obviously all the teeth. But the main reason I wear face paint is I don't want to look like everyone else. I have a religious background. I don't push that on anybody. I don't throw my face at anybody and say, you better believe it or you're going to hell, that type of stuff. But I'm supposed to be separate from everybody. And in my wrestling career, I believe that I'm supposed to be different. And I'm not by any means chiseled. I'm not by any means a walking action figure. So why would I look and try to look like these guys? Why would I want to be misconfused or just misconstrued for one of these guys?
I agree. And I think it works, and I think it's great. But the thing that I get a lot of times when I talk about Chance Prophet is people go, isn't that the guy that looks like Sting? I'm like, no, come on now.
Yeah.
Sting. I'm sure you've gotten that one many times. You can if you want to.
I did. I cut one on him, and I got heat from it from a promoter. He's like, I thought you were such a nice guy. I was like, I'm just trying to get over, guy. Calm down.
Well, unfortunately, I may have missed that promo. So, can you tell us a little bit about what you actually said about him?
It's when he decided to turn into Heath Ledger on TV and a cross between Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, and Cesar Romero. I don't know, man. It was just horrible, and I was just like, why is he doing this? And the thing was, I was in talks with TNA at the time. I had a gut check, and I was in talks with him. I showed him my gimmick. My buddy Justin Carnes, also known as Crimson, some people know him as Conrad Kennedy III. We both started doing the gimmick. We didn't even know each other, had never came in contact with each other. Both started doing a dark gimmick that involved face paint, and we sounded like Heath Ledger-ish. He had tryouts. He's a friend of Tommy Dreamer's, and D'Lo Brown had seen his gimmick, loved his stuff. He'd been sending promos in, and lo and behold, Sting turns into Heath Ledger, and I was just like, screw this, I'm cutting a promo. And I actually beat Crimson to it, and he's like, oh, I'm dropping mine tomorrow. His got picked up on WrestleZone, mine just got picked up on my YouTube channel. But it was good stuff.
Well,
not
definitely
stuff, our stuff like.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely go back and watch it if it's still on your YouTube channel, because that sounds like one I need to see. And Lord knows all of us were confused about the Heath Ledger Sting. It's like, really? Why are you doing this at your age and trying to be the crazy guy in TNA? That doesn't work for you. Go ahead,
it looks so disturbing. I turn on Impact Wrestling and I'm like, wait, did Sting forget how to do his makeup? It was just just strange to me.
I was like, he just doesn't want to paint all those designs anymore.
Maybe that was it. But let's get back to things that have happened in your career leading up to this point, because I've been dying to ask you about the match you had with Nigel McGuinness, because unfortunately he's now retired from the business, but you had a chance to work with him in NWA Bluegrass, and I wonder what your memories of that were.
That was actually the second match I'd had with him. First time, we wrestled in Mad Pro Wrestling out of Chillicothe, Ohio. I came out on the winning side on that one. The second time, Nigel and I he kind of rung my belt pretty well. He did a spot where if he caught you in the corner, he'd pull your head back and clothesline you down after he kicked you in the back. When he went to pull my head back, his nail caught me in my forehead and just kind of peeled my skin back, and I let out a girlish scream. And right about the time he did that, he nailed me with a clothesline. The back of my head hit the mat, and I don't remember a lot of it from there. It was just kind of like, don't know where I got to. I'm moving up there and don't remember anything. But
wow.
It seemed like it was a decent match. I watched a little bit of it, but I don't remember hardly any of it after that point.
It's sort of ironic, really, because one of the things that has helped to sideline Nigel, other than his other issues, is the fact that he got so many concussions. So it's kind of deja vu to hear that and know that you were on the end of it instead of him.
Yeah. It was rough. We got to the back, and he's like, mate, what happened to you after that? I was like, I don't know, but check your middle finger under your fingernail. He's like, what the crap is that? I said, that's my skin. Can I have that back, please?
Oh, the joys of wrestling. That's the things that happen in the ring sometimes. But it's no surprise that you two had a couple of great matches, even if you can only remember one of them really well. But it's a shame about that. But you've had so many matches. I couldn't even begin to list all the ones you've had over the years. But if I just pick a few that I have memories of here and there, another one from NWA Bluegrass when you wrestled Jimmy Rave for the NWA National Heavyweight title. What are your thoughts about that?
That was probably one of the roughest matches that I'd ever had because I was in the middle of, I had bronchitis and the flu, and I was so horribly winded, but it was a good match. I was struggling to breathe the whole time. Really lucky to come out on the winning end of that one. And Jimmy's he's a heck of a competitor, and I got to meet up with him again in Ohio 2 years ago for the NWA World Title, and he hasn't lost a step. He's a heck of a competitor. He's got a lot more international experience than I do, and I wouldn't mind having another singles match with him. Sans the bronchitis and flu too, so I'd be actually like to test him a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. Jimmy Rave has been working for a while now, just like you have, and like you said, maybe more international experience, but definitely one match I wouldn't mind seeing happen another time. So let's hope that can be put together, maybe in Pro Wrestling Freedom. What do you say, Jimmy? Can somebody in PWF hook that up? Did we lose Jimmy? Did he drop off the line?
We ran out of juice.
Oh, hello? There? You guys cut out real bad on me. What were you guys asking?
I was saying we should get Jimmy Rave and Chance Prophet together at a Pro Wrestling Freedom show.
Hopefully soon down the line we can do that.
Mm-hmm. But since we're not going to play fantasy booker here and come up with a million matches for Chance, we'll just take a chance on the chance that he gets this Saturday against Kyle Matthews. And we already know that you're going to plan to stomp, punch, kick him, and then maybe pin him when it's all said and done. But just generally speaking, how do you rate Kyle Matthews as a wrestler, aside from the fact that you want to just totally kill him in the ring?
Yeah.
Ridiculously talented for his age. He reminds me a lot of Danielson in his just pure technical ability, and he's a heck of a not to be too literal. He's just a good baby face. He gets the kids going. He makes everybody happy, and unfortunately, I don't like that. But I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that he's such a big baby face because one of the guys he just wrestled within the last couple of weeks is Colt Cabana, who's another guy that goes out there and gets the crowd pumped up and into his matches. So it's funny that they had babyface versus babyface. I don't know how that worked out. I haven't actually seen the result of that match.
That was in California, wasn't it? Or was it in Vegas?
It was either Cali or Vegas, but it was definitely out there on the West.
Yeah.
So it's Sierra, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Sierra, I'm going to go to you real quick while I get it back.
How did you lose your train of thought? You get off the wrong train?
I guess so. I was trying to figure out where that match took place, and that's how I lost my train of thought, so sorry about that.
The Angry Marks chat room wanted to know, is there anyone you haven't faced yet in the future and you want to take them? Who would you say? Like, you've taken on Nigel McGuinness and so many other people. Who is that one person you have not faced yet?
I was actually talking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I shattered my leg back in 2007, and right before that happened, I was in talks to do a program and do a series of matches out in Ed Schumann's NWA Midwest against Brian Danielson. And as we now know him, Daniel Bryan, yes, 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 no, no, no. And I've always wanted to do that. He's kind of tied up at the moment, but, contractual obligations and all. But I would really like for that to happen. Unsigned, probably, I would really like to, I don't know. There's a ton of guys that I really wanted to wrestle, because growing up I always wanted to wrestle Muda and Angle and everybody that, was hot and coming up. I've still yet to wrestle Ricky Morton. I've been on probably 1,500 shows with Ricky Morton, and I've never wrestled Ricky Morton. I would love to wrestle Ricky Morton there.
No,
Yeah.
That one.
I could swear that producer Kev just told me that Ricky Morton is having a world title match. Maybe I'm wrong
Yeah.
about that. Yes.
Yeah, versus Conway.
Wow. Okay, so then maybe you could be the next in line. Maybe if he wins the NWA World Heavyweight title for Rob Conway, you could take him on. Get 2 titles. You could have the PWF title and the NWA World title.
I don't know about that. He might keep me away from that. They don't like me that well to put me in contention, I don't think. I think I'm kind of the bad boy right now. I think I'm in the doghouse.
Well, sometimes the bad boys are the most popular. Like I said, you've got a huge following out there, so don't kid yourself. If you're popular enough, you can get booked anywhere.
I could bring some gasoline and burn the other people away.
No.
Hey, little barbecue here and there, you know what I'm saying?
No. We don't mess up your
Whatever
chance.
Whatever works, whatever gets you noticed. But I did check on that match that derailed my train of thought, and it was the Wrestling Cares organization with our good friend Les Thatcher, who's going to be on the show next week. So, now, would you want to work any of the Wrestling Cares events that they're having as they race for the ring?
As long as I could hang out with Les and just sit there and listen to him for an hour or two, yes. No, I would love to do that. I'd love to help that cause out, and just, I would love to work for Les and just sit under him and just let him just completely ramble if he wanted to for 2 hours, and I would be completely content.
Yes, I can't any way disagree with that, because that's pretty much what he did the last time we had him on the show, was just talk for an hour and a half, and we just sat and listened. It was great.
That's what I did at the last Charlotte NWA convention that I was at. I just said, sir, I don't want to interrupt you, and I won't interrupt you. Just please talk. And we just talked for a long time. And he talked, and I listened. I was very appreciative.
I hope everybody out there in independent wrestling and major wrestling and everywhere else wrestling gets a chance to listen to Les Thatcher, because the man has been there and done that and knows more about the business than most people have forgotten.
Yeah. And if you say I love pro wrestling and you don't know who he is, you don't love pro wrestling. That's like saying you love pro wrestling and you don't know who Fez is, saying you don't know who freaking Jim Cornette is. If you don't love Jim Cornette, you hate wrestling, because that man has kept wrestling alive in one way or another and put a lot of interest back into it at times where people would tend to forget about it.
Absolutely. In fact, Cornette's got a new podcast coming up in June that we're all just dying to hear. It's going to be him and Kenny Bolin co-hosting together. So
Oh, dear God.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, we're dying to be a part of it. It's going to be on Apt Radio coming up in June. So keep an eye on AngryMarks.com. We'll be bringing more news about that. But before we let you go tonight, I know we're running up on time. It's your chance to cut another promo the way Chance Prophet can on Kyle Matthews before you get this big match on Saturday night.
Well, I just turned into Road Warrior Hulk. Kyle Matthews, such a sweet young lad, was the best world champion that PWF ever had. I turned into Lanny Poffo just for a second, but let me move back into my own little twisted persona. Kyle, you have such a heart for professional wrestling. You have such a heart for these fans. You have such a heart for what you do, and you have such a desire to be the best that you can be. And Kyle, well, that's all great, fine and well. This is your last Saturday that you'll ever have to wrestle, period. PWF Championships, wrestling, period. I am coming to Corbin, Kentucky, just to hurt you. You can keep your title. You can keep that championship. If I win it, I'll give you the belt, and you can put it in front of you as you convalesce at home. Because come Saturday in Corbin, Kentucky, I'm going to break you in half. Hi.
Okay, now if you didn't have enough reason to go to Pro Wrestling Freedom on Saturday night, you just got it right there. come and watch Chance Profit break Kyle Matthews in half. One way or another, that's going to be a tremendous match.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, I'm scared.
But like I keep saying, Chance, we love the bad guys. It's a Scott Hall type of world out here. Sometimes it's good to be bad.
Yes, it is. I'm going to go watch Thomas the Train just to make myself feel better.
All right, whatever it takes to get in the right frame of mind again before Saturday night. Just come out there and be that intense on Saturday, and we look forward to it. So, Chance, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and hopefully we'll have you back again soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Jimmy, I think you're still on the line, right?
Sure I am.
All right, any closing words you want to say before we wrap up on Pro Wrestling Freedom?
No, man, just come on at the show Saturday night in Corbin, Kentucky. It's going to be a great card. Join us there. Go to our website, check the card out, ProWrestlingFreedom.com, and, just get out and support your local independent wrestling.
Well, you've done such a good job of playing PWF. I feel like we got to plug you as well. So please tell everybody where they can find you on social media and the World Wide Web.
You can actually go to Facebook /Pro Wrestling Freedom, and the Twitter, it's at PWF Kentucky. Am I saying that right? PWFKY. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too hip on the Twitter stuff yet. I'm trying. Still trying.
That's all right. In fact, I regularly get press releases from a good friend of ours, Coriander Aki, and she doesn't even remember to put it in there. I always have to look up the Twitter account on Google and make sure to put it in there. But it's PWF Wrestling KY.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what PWFKY is. In fact, I'm going to try that right now. See if that's actually like a redirect to it or not. But I have a feeling it's probably not. Yeah, it comes up as a question mark. So please go to PWF Wrestling KY to follow them on Twitter. And Jimmy, thank you so much for being on the show again tonight.
Thank you for having me, guys.
It's been our pleasure, and have a great show on Saturday night. We hope there's a big turnout.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.